The NFL trade deadline is just 2 weeks away, and I've got a feeling that the Baltimore Ravens might get involved in some trade talk over the next couple of weeks, okay? I know it sounds crazy to say that, but per an article just released by CBS Sports about 24 hours ago, they were quoted as saying the Baltimore Ravens still profile as buyers. Now, that seems ridiculous because this team is 1-5, but if you think about this division race, which right now seems like their most promising ticket to a playoff spot, they're only 3 games back, and their next 5 opponents have a combined record of 10-23. The first 6 games you played, the first 6 teams you played, those were incredibly tough squads, but the next 5 you have coming up are well under 500. So coming up on today's show, I'm going to give you 3 names that the Baltimore Ravens could get involved with when it comes to them being on the trade block. 3 names that I think Eric DeCosta should pick up the phone and dial their agents. Do you want the Ravens to make a trade? We've been talking about trade rumors a lot over the last week or so on this channel because it feels like it should be coming, or it could be coming very, very soon. If you feel like you want this to happen, make sure hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. We start this one out with the biggest option of them all. And I'm not just talking name value, I'm talking size as well. Let's talk about Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle for the New York Jets. And I'll just call a spade a spade. I'll call this one what it is. This would be a massive swing from the Baltimore Ravens. Quinnen Williams is one of, if not the best, interior defensive lineman in the National Football League right now, and he is still so incredibly young. Now, that's exactly why it would cost you a first-round pick, okay? I'm here to tell you right now, the New York Jets would not give him up without a first-rounder in the 2026 NFL Draft. And that still on its own might not be enough. You might have to throw a late day 3 pick in there as well. Maybe they're interested in Mark Andrews. Then you could talk about some other different things. But for right now, our idea looks as this. Jets receive a first-round pick. Ravens receive Quinnen Williams. We know that the New York Jets are going to be sellers. This season, to say it's started off not as they hoped, I think would be a massive understatement. Aaron Glenn right now feels like he might be one and done in New York. They feel like they might have to 100% totally hit the reset button, and that starts with getting as many first-round picks as you can. Right now, Quinnen Williams isn't necessarily on the trade block, but a lot of Jets players are. And I feel like if the losing continues, he will be, okay? I feel like if they feel that they cannot win any more football games and that the 2026 NFL Draft is going to be the draft that changes this team's future, they can get some money off the books with Quinnen Williams, and they can get some big draft picks back for him. So far this season, in the 6 games he's played, he's already notched 23 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and a sack. But you just look at the sheer numbers he's been able to put up over the last 4 seasons. It's been pretty unbelievable. 2022, 12 sacks. Last year, 6 sacks, 37 tackles, 8 of those for loss. Quinnen Williams is a player. He is a force to be reckoned with, and he's going to be a good player in this league for a long time to come. And with Nnamdi Madubuike gone, you need some help on that interior. It cannot just be on Travis Jones and the rookie Ainias Peebles' shoulders. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for, and name them down below in the comment section for me, okay? I just gave you one. I'm about to give you 2 more, but I want you to give me one in the comment section right now. We got more trade rumors to talk about. But before that, I got to tell you about our great friends over at PrizePicks. If you download the PrizePicks app right now and use our code CLNS, you get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. So make the right decision and download PrizePicks. It's the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You could double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. We got to talk about my PrizePicks for this last Saturday's Tennessee Volunteer game against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, it's perfect to talk about the flex play because Chris Brazzell did not have a reception longer than 26.5 yards. So that one didn't hit. But Joey Aguilar had 260 yards passing. That one hit. Ty Simpson had 2 touchdowns. That one hit. So if you flex play this, even though you missed on one, because you got the other 2, you could still double your money. That's what makes PrizePicks so great. They give you so much flexibility. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Speaking of sellers, we talked about the New York Jets. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins, namely with Bradley Chubb listed as a linebacker, but we all know he's more of an edge rusher. And we have to remember, when Adam Schefter did these trade rumors, that Bradley Chubb was a name and a player that he mentioned literally by name in an ESPN article just about a week ago. The list of trade candidates that executives and coaches believe could be available in the next few weeks features multiple high-profile players, including Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Trey Hendrickson, Mark Andrews, Bradley Chubb, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Breece Hall, Cameron Jordan, and Riq Woolen. Bradley Chubb has had himself a pretty damn good season. He's one of the only bright spots on this Miami Dolphins team and Miami Dolphins defense, but he's got 20 tackles, 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss in 7 games played, and he's pretty much the only player on that defense that's really doing anything. Jalen Phillips, his counterpart on the other side of that defensive line, he's had a pretty good season as well. And I just feel like Bradley Chubb would fit really, really well in Baltimore for multiple reasons. I think the first one, you just need some help on the edge. That is the understatement of the year. But I think the second part of that is he's a physical player. He's a tough player. He's a player that I think would switch around the mantra and the physicality of this defense, which in my opinion kind of needs a massive overhaul as of right now. Bradley Chubb could still be that for you, and he's young still at the crux of it. He's a little bit injury prone, which isn't great because right now your edge rushers, a lot of them are injured. Now, Odafe Owe, you traded away to Los Angeles a couple weeks ago, but Tavius Robinson, broken foot. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Kyle Van Noy, he only has 1 sack in 2025. Mike Green, 0 pressures in the last 2 games he's played. David Ajabo, only 2 tackles in 2025. To say you're thin at edge rusher is the easiest thing to say that I've ever had the chance to say in my entire life. You need something on the defensive line. Bradley Chubb could be that something for you. And again, the more the Miami Dolphins lose, the closer they come to firing Mike McDaniel, the more obvious that this guy becomes as a possible trade target. Riq Woolen is my last guy we're going to talk about. We talked about the defensive line. Let's talk about the secondary. Now, I get it. The secondary is not as big of a need as the defensive line is, but Riq Woolen, we have known that he's going to be up for trade talks for a very long time. Ian Rappaport broke the news before the month even turned into October, saying that Riq Woolen can be made possible as a trade target by the deadline, sources from the insider, because Devin Witherspoon came back from injury. A lot of people speculate, this is coming from our Seahawks Today host, that it was actually Seattle that leaked the rumor, and John Schneider, their GM in particular, is the guy who told it to Ian Rappaport, trying to get things going for a trade for Riq Woolen. And of the options I've given you today, this one, in my opinion, I think is the one I'm most up in the air in. Like, I don't really know how I would feel about this. We know that defensive line is a far bigger need. Because still in the secondary, you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Nate Wiggins in that cornerback room, Marlon Humphrey, although he's had an up and down season so far. Chidobe Awuzie is coming back from injury. Jair Alexander, he's been pretty much absent. So, like, you got some good things, you got some bad things. But when it comes to Riq Woolen, like, you can kind of miss me with cornerbacks that haven't produced, okay? You can kind of miss me with a guy who's being on the trade block just because another guy got healthy again. It's obvious that he's not that big of an asset for the Seattle Seahawks. If one guy comes back for injury, he's on the trade block, that tells me that he's not being utilized, that they don't really want him as badly as it might seem. And so I think a couple of things. You need defensive line more, and you already have enough cornerbacks on this team with Jair Alexander and Marlon Humphrey this season that aren't really producing up to their contract. Pick one to trade for. Down below, QW for Quinnen Williams, BC for Bradley Chubb, and RW for Riq Woolen. You let me know your answer in that comment section. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, at Joey Petersen. Hey, Gage, how long are we right now? Great. Nice, tight 10 minutes. Appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.